Intro music.
Wait, that's not it.
On this episode, we make fun of Chris.
Exactly. Man, on this episode, we get no sound.
No sound.
It's like they said, hey, I know your wife wants you to hurry
Want
up.
you to hurry up, so let's take an extra 20 minutes setting everything up. There we go. On this episode, we make fun of Chris. All right.
What did we change?
I don't know. What did you change? You changed something in there somewhere.
Oh, you know what it is? Yeah, it was the audio output capture.
Okay.
Okay, now there's so many sounds out there.
All right. I closed mine. You
Interesting.
closed yours.
All
All right.
right.
So at least now on the tube of yous.
Your
Yous.
tube.
Your tube. On
Yin's
your
tube.
tube. We're live on your tube.
Y'all's
All right.
tube.
My tube, YouTube, yours tube, our tube. Here we go. I'm going to record this.
Hooray.
Hooray. On this episode of BanthaMilk Podcast,
Nick returns.
Nick returns.
And we're making Chris angry.
Hi, Chris. Nobody's listening. Intro music.
Wait, that's not it.
What?
He's no good to me, Dad.
Intro music. Intro music.
Bounty hunting is a complicated profession.
It is.
Hello, Nick.
Hi. How are you?
You remember this? This
Yeah,
was
I
fun.
think
We
I know
missed
how to
you.
do this. Hi, everybody. Hi, Rob. How I this is actually the first time I've seen you in a bit of time.
Yes.
I saw you at the football game the one time.
Yes.
But that was about it.
That was
so-
about it. Yes.
Yeah.
And we totally missed your birthday.
Oh, that's
because
right. There was that happened. I
We,
guess.
when you're in the same school, we get an email that says all the birthdays for the month, so we can plan ahead, plan our pizza party, get everything
Right.
ready.
Right.
When you go to a different school, then we forget all about you,
That's true.
and then I find out by watching a giant birthday cake with a little baby that says "Happy Birthday, Daddy" on Instagram.
Oh, when I was blowing out the cake.
Yeah,
with
when
my
you're
baby,
blowing out
yeah.
the
That was a-
candles.
That was a cute one.
Yeah, not
Yeah.
blowing out the baby, blowing
Right.
out the cake.
And
It
that's
would've been
that is the reason I've been gone. By the way, is that
yes.
my daughter, who was due a week ago, will be a month old on Saturday.
Yay!
Yeah, very excited. It's awesome. I'm tired.
Yes.
I'm tired.
As a 1-month-old baby will do to you.
Yes.
Yes, she will.
But here we are.
Here
back
we
again.
What's her
and
name?
Her name is Evangeline.
Evangeline.
Evangeline Sevilla. We've been calling her Vanjie.
Vanjie.
She's got a Star Wars themed room.
She's a
Everything
Star
in
Wars
her life
baby.
is Star Wars. She's got
Nothing
her own
wrong with that.
lightsaber.
Yes.
It's a whole freaking thing. But
It
yeah,
is
all is
awesome.
well. She's healthy. She is happy. Well,
she has 10 fingers and 10
ish.
toes.
10 fingers, 11 toes,
Yeah,
exactly.
there you go.
And
It's just a
then,
good thing. Webbed feet, which
yeah,
is good.
It's an extra toe
Yep.
for luck.
That's
right?
there's nothing wrong. She's going to be like Michael Phelps. She'll be the next
Exactly.
Olympic swimmer.
And I will put out there, you all need to go ahead and, especially if you have a kid, listen to our friend of the podcast, Tom Amin.
Tom Amin.
Our boy Tom Amin has been on the podcast twice now. He's got really great albums out on Spotify. My daughter freaking loves his music.
Awesome.
Like, literally, I started putting together a Spotify playlist just for like music for Vanjie. It included a lot of his stuff, plus like some Rockabye Baby stuff. Have you ever heard Rockabye Baby?
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, which is like classic, right?
Yep.
Right. Anytime Rockabye Baby would come on, she'd get annoyed.
Okay.
So I literally now I just tell Google to play Tom Amin,
Perfect.
and like it goes, and she's like, "Oh,
I
that's
like
nice."
this.
Well,
Well, there we go, Tom.
shout out to
Thank
Tom.
you. Tom
Appreciate it.
Amin.
Always.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
But we're
that is-
back for another episode,
Yes,
and
we are.
we're gonna get right into it because my wife definitely wants me to be
Yeah,
here.
I do want to throw a big thank you out to Ryan. He was going to try and join us as well. He was the substitute co-host while Nicholas was gone.
Thanks, Rye. Appreciate
And
it.
he did a fabulous job. There is talks of a giant season finale, which I think too many people will make a mess of it. But the Scraping the Vault boys want to jump in here also. And even Asher, the little boy who is a real boy. He's not a real boy for those of you listening. He's a computer program that Dan likes to make say weird things. But anywho, so maybe at the end of episode
Do they
12,
know that our internet output is like an antenna on top of the trailer out
there's
behind
it's
Ears Up
aluminum foil.
headquarters?
Yeah, yeah. We have one extension cord going out to the trailer behind
That's it.
Ears Up, and
That's
it's an aluminum foil antenna for our Wi-Fi. Yeah. Well, we'll find out
And we
if
have to
crash it or not.
unplug the AC in order to plug in our Wi-Fi.
We do,
so, like,
yeah, because it'll drain all the power
that's
out.
it.
So let's talk about all our social medias.
Yes,
You
there are
started
many.
to.
There are many of the social medias you can catch us on Facebook. Yeah, I already broke into my beer. Sorry.
Yes. Your glass is right over there,
Oh,
by the way,
cool.
if you want a glass.
I have
Nick and I are both drinking
yes.
Coaster Pills from 21A. If you listen to the Ears Up Network's main show, Jason has a fabulous commercial for Coaster Pills. And we did not get free beer sent to us. I went out and bought it. Thank you very much, Jason, for not helping there at all.
Gosh, Jason.
I know. So, so there
But
we
yeah,
go.
I found that, as I don't get actually, like, I don't drink as much now that I'm a dad because, like,
well, you
I
don't have
the
time to. Yeah.
So when I have the opportunity, I take a sip.
I
But
understand.
we're on Facebook at BanthaMilk Podcast. Also, our Facebook group, Sacred Jedi Text. Look
Now,
at that
that's
head.
finally
That is,
how you do it.
you
It took
know,
us 2 years of shows, but I finally got a good one there.
I'm not there. I still
Nope.
got some work to do.
You still have some
But
work
Rob
to do.
has achieved
I finally have achieved
perfect head status. We
beer
love it.
pouring head status.
You are the
fabulous.
master. We're on Twitter, BanthaMilk Podcast. We're on BanthaMilk, just BanthaMilk.
Just
Although,
BanthaMilk on Twitter.
it's great. There was this whole big process before, but now apparently all we have to do is send a check to Elon, and we get a blue check.
$8.
$8.
Yeah,
$8
$8 a month. and we
$8
can be
check for a
verified.
blue check. It's
Yeah.
a beautiful thing.
To a billionaire. By
To
the
a billionaire.
way.
Yeah, he's gonna buy himself, some gummy bears.
Yes.
Oh, my dad is calling me. Sorry, Dad, I'm not home. You can check me out live on YouTube though. So yeah, we are also on.
I think we should take that phone call live on the show.
He's probably he'll be so upset because he just wants to see the kid.
Oh,
They never want to talk to me.
They don't want
anymore.
to talk to you.
Like literally, my mother will be upset if I'm like not home. She's like, I
Right.
want to talk. She literally would tell me, I don't want to talk.
I don't want to talk to you. I want to talk to the baby.
Oh gosh, I
Yeah.
just realized they're coming to visit tomorrow.
All right.
Anyway,
Anywho.
yeah, banthamilkpodcast.com. You can email us at banthamilkpodcast@gmail.com.
That's right.
And if you send up smoke signals in, you have to check your smoke signal to English dictionary.
Right.
But you can send up smoke signals at BanthaMilk Podcast, and we'll get back to you.
We will do that. And also send us emails, banthamilkpodcast@gmail.com. If you want some BanthaMilk stickers that Nick just grabbed some, you can email us and we'll mail you some BanthaMilk stickers that you can
stick everywhere.
Stick everywhere you want.
All over the place.
All over the place.
All over your friend's face, all over your cat.
Use them, productively, please.
Put them in
walls
places where people are going to
see them.
High traffic. Listen, dude, the amount of crappy band stickers I see on like Wawa garbage cans.
The turnpike stall where you take the ticket, slap one on there when you go to the
Let me tell you, man, there are a lot of Wawa garbage cans that are about to have BanthaMilk Podcast stickers on them.
Works for me. I love it.
Oh yeah. So check us out at every Wawa near you.
That's right.
And if you live in a place where you can't get to a Wawa, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Because Wawas are amazing.
Yes, indeed.
Also check out Freestyle Watches if you want to relive your youth.
So I got a Google Pixel watch.
Google Pixel watch.
And I love it. My wife got it for me for my birthday. I don't think they have the Freestyle Pixel band yet.
They don't. They have the Apple Watch bands. Yes.
The first thing I did was like, ooh, I wonder if they have that. They don't, but I'm sure that's coming.
Yes.
So I will hopefully soon be able to join
when they have one, you'll be able to. But if you click on the link in our show notes and type in BanthaMilk 10, you can save 10% off on all Freestyle watch.
Really?
Yeah.
That's pretty rad.
So
How do we get that set up? This is what happens when I leave.
When Nick's gone, I take care of business.
Apparently.
Yeah.
I just drag you down, man.
That's right. Not that anything has come of it because I bought the watch before getting the promo, so I don't know if anybody's even used the Freestyle watch promo yet or not. But it's there for you. Maybe Nick will. Nick will be the first one.
That's it.
So
I do want to mention we have been making light on this podcast over the past several months about a certain Tony and Tina's wedding inspired Star Wars extravaganza.
Okay.
It just so happens that our friend and former or previous guest star on the host, Bill, went to Tony and Tina's podcast, Star Wars extravaganza.
He went
about 2 weeks ago.
No, we need to get him back on the show so you can talk all about it.
Yep,
the Star Cruiser.
He loved it.
Yeah,
he said it was amazing, and I gave him some crap about it. I was like, yeah, me and Rob have been like, kind of making fun of how ridiculously expensive it is, and he's like, yeah, I get that, and thankfully I'm not paying for it. And I said, if I wasn't paying for it, there's not a chance in hell I wouldn't go.
Oh, exactly. If I didn't have to pay for it, I would love it.
Oh yeah.
I would love it.
I mean, he said it was awesome. The immersion was incredible. He said the Millennium Falcon thing was out of this world.
Well, that's like you take a trip from the hotel to the park.
Right.
And you ride the Millennium Falcon ride and all that stuff. So we did that as well without having to go to the Star Cruiser. Yeah. So just by getting a park ticket, you can do the Millennium Falcon ride. And I like the Millennium Falcon ride. people said it was lame, and if you're not a pilot, it is a little blah.
Yeah.
But if you're one of the pilots and flying it, then it is really cool.
Yeah, so we'll have to have him on at some point. He
Yeah.
definitely mentioned that he would be willing to come and chat
Yeah,
about
definitely.
it. But yeah, he sent a lot of pictures. It was pretty rad.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome. So this is episode 9. We only have 10, 11, and 12 left. So
That's
maybe in a
3,
month,
maybe.
sometime in the end of November, early December, we can he can come on and chat us up about what it's like
Love
to have independently wealthy friends and family who can just pay for $5,000 for 46 hours worth of entertainment.
Yeah, man. That's been. Listen, dude. I'm just like I remember when I was a kid. We had this. I think I've got family that's connected.
Nice.
Unfortunately, I don't talk to any of my extended family, so I can't cash in
So
on it.
yeah.
But
Well, it's also good. You don't have to worry about getting whacked either.
Yeah. That's fair. That's fair. There's a trade-off.
There is a trade-off.
I just remember I was a kid at Fantasy Island on LBI, and like I was like 5 or 6, and my dad's cousin was down, and he like gives me $100 bill. He's like, "Go have fun," and I'm like,
"What?" And this is in the
You better
'90s when
you better
$100
believe,
actually
yeah.
meant something.
And you better
yeah.
believe I was like, "Sure." So
Yeah.
like,
Okay.
ain't no doubt in my mind
Yeah.
that if like old Uncle Gino came down and was like, "Hey, you want to go to Star
You wanna
Wars
go to
World?
Star
We'll
Wars
go to
World?
Star Wars World." I'll be like,
I'll take you on that Star Wars
"You go,
hotel.
you and me, we'll go to Star Wars
We'll
Hotel.
go.
We'll go to get our lightsaber. It'll be great."
I'll
I don't
buy
know.
you a lightsaber. We'll get helmets.
I don't know what either of these accents you're doing is. I think they're like trying to be vaguely
they're-
racist Italian American
Yes,
accents,
but
they're not even
bad. No.
close.
It's like when I do an impression of Will Ferrell doing an impression of somebody
Yes.
else. That's what that is. That's an impression of somebody doing an impression of an
impression.
Italian person. Yes.
Oh yes.
So there we go.
All right. So, but
So,
we're here for episode 9.
That's our BS stuff. Well, I have a little bit of news.
Okay,
So
go.
let's hit some
Star
news
Wars news.
first.
I forgot. I'm
You
sorry.
forgot.
Rusty.
It's been a while. I understand.
Star Wars news. And once again, that's Star Wars news jingle by my buddy Brian, our buddy Brian, who
Yes.
has for the past 5 to 6 weeks been very disappointed every time he comes in and goes, "Have you watched it?" And I'm like,
No.
He's just wanted to talk to me about it. So tonight he's at the school for a rehearsal, and
Okay.
he like knocks on my door. I'm like, "I'm watching it right now." He's like, "Okay."
Okay. Well, you'll be able to
Tomorrow
talk
I'll be
all
able to
about it
chat him up.
tomorrow.
That's right.
Yeah, since you both left me and went to bigger, better things,
Hey man,
whatever.
you had an opportunity. There was a window in August. You could have taken it.
I know.
There was an off ramp.
I even
Think back
contacted
now.
him after that, and he was like, "Oh," and that was the end of it. So
But like thinking back,
Yeah.
it's November. You
Yeah.
thinking back, you go, "Man, I should have done
well,
that."
they didn't fill that position yet, so
Wow,
there's
so that-
still an opportunity. So you're saying I
Saying
got
there's
a
a
chance?
Samsonite. I was way off.
I was way off. All right. Hey, nice Hooters. What?
The owls, they're beautiful.
They're beautiful. All right. So a couple of fun things here. The Macy's Day Parade. I think you've heard of it once or twice. It's in that city that never sleeps.
I
The
actually
city-
marched in it.
Did you really? That's
Yeah,
really cool.
in 2001.
Nice.
A month and a half after 9/11.
Oh,
Yep.
that must have been
It
really
was crazy. And my
Yeah.
band actually was the last band that let in Santa.
okay.
It was the 75th anniversary parade. It
Wow.
was miserable.
I'm sure.
It was like we rehearsed on that Macy's block
Okay.
at 3 a.m.
Ooh.
So we had to leave Manahawkin, New Jersey at like 1
Yeah.
or 12.
Yeah.
And we slept like after our rehearsal in a Salvation Army church on pews and stuff.
Okay.
I did not have good. And then the whole band got to go to freaking medieval times
Okay.
for Thanksgiving.
Okay.
And my freaking grandparents lived in New York, and I had
And
to
they
go to their
said-
stupid house.
They said, "Come with us. Come with
It was
Bubby.
awful.
Come with Bubby."
I
Now
don't
you
like them
suddenly you're
anymore. It's a
Jewish.
bummer. Yeah, that's right. Now I'm a Jewish Italian American.
There you
What
go.
are we doing here?
We got you going through it
All over
here.
the place. Anyway, so
anywho,
yes, are you
so-
telling me there's going to be a Grogu?
There's a
balloon? Is that
Grogu
what
in the
it's gonna be?
Macy's Day Parade.
I didn't even see. I had no idea. But like when you said Macy's parade, I'm like, they have to have a Grogu.
Yep.
balloon.
So
that makes sense.
apparently, I think they had one last year as well. I'm not
Did they
really
really?
sure,
Okay.
but it's by Funko Pop. So it's a
it's a
Funko Pop
Funko.
style
All right.
Baby Grogu, and if you really like it, you can buy a
Of course you can.
Funko Pop Baby Grogu balloon,
Balloon. So
being
it's
held
not
up by people
it's
and
not
all kinds of
a
stuff like that.
Grogu
No,
Funko Pop. It's a Grogu parade float balloon.
correct.
Funko Pop.
Funko Pop. Yes,
Man, Funko can just print money.
they're just.
And
Look,
guess what? I'll want it.
I want it. I watched the like the history of Funko on
Mhm.
like
Oh,
the
it's a great
toys that
one.
made me or something
It's
like
an
that.
awesome episode.
It is an awesome
Is it,
episode.
or is it a whole like
Well,
documentary? Isn't it?
I think this documentary, I think it was just this one segment was
Yeah.
about Funko,
Okay.
but there's like a documentary series where they talk about all the different toys. I think it was like the toys that made me. There's
Right.
like 2 or 3 different toy documentary
And
series
the
is now.
one specific one was on
The
Funko,
one
right?
episode was all
Yeah,
on
I
Funko.
remember
Yeah,
specifically seeing it and
and
like
how
being
they,
really interested.
yeah,
Actually,
they the first three characters were these like characters from the 50s that they went to a like licensing conference or whatever, and
right,
they were like, "Can we license these?" Because they were the cheapest ones or something
right.
like that to license. They were in stores forever. Nobody picked up on them, and then finally somebody just started buying them and whatever, and then they started to get more licensing, and now I think they license the entire world. There's
That's it.
everything in the world can be Funkoized at this point.
There's a Rob Funko Pop.
Hmm.
They haven't made a Nick Funko Pop yet.
Well, and
But they made a Rob one.
ironically, if you go to Funko's
Can you
website,
make your own?
you can
Of
make
course
your
you can.
own. My
Oh, we gotta
little
do that.
icon for my Google stuff is a Funko version of me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
man.
you can get a
I might do that.
drawing of one. I don't think they actually produce a real Funko for you,
I'm
but
sure with enough money they would.
yeah, I'm sure you drop $1,000 and they'll make you a fake
I
one.
call up Mr. Funko. I say, "Hey, Mr. Funko,
That's
here's
his
a
name
whole lot
too.
of money."
Bill Funko.
Bill Funko.
Bill Funko.
What a guy, that Bill
He's
Funko.
a nice guy. So yeah, so when you're watching the Macy's Day Parade this week or Thanksgiving week, there will be a Funko Pop Baby Grogu, and you can buy it also on
Love
Funko's website. It's just a mere $30. I think it's a very large one too. So
Yeah, I think you can go to like Sam Goody and buy like the cheaper ones for like $7 or $8.
yeah,
But like, yeah, those ones are.
yeah, I think this is like it's like one of the big ones
Yeah.
too, because there's like 5 people holding up the Funko balloon. So I think it's a biggie one. Rumor has it Mandalorian season 3 is coming out on February 22nd.
Okay.
So
We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I definitely heard 2023.
2023,
Right?
yeah.
So
yeah.
I had heard the next. So you must be wrapped up in your House of the Dragon stuff right
That's
now,
all
right?
done, yeah.
I heard we're not getting that till 2024.
2024, yeah. So that's a long time until we get to do.
But you know what's funny is I remember how long, like, 2023. I can't believe we got to wait till then. And you just said February, and I'm like, that's wait. Oh, it's actually almost 2023.
It's almost 2023 now. Yeah,
it's happened suddenly. So all right.
So Ahsoka was originally scheduled to be coming out
February,
sooner, right? And now they're supposedly pushing Ahsoka back to release Mandalorian 3 first.
First, okay,
yeah. So that'll be very, very interesting. And the new trailer for Mandalorian should be dropping on Christmas Day. So depending on which article you read with all this fake news in it, one article says Mandalorian coming on Christmas.
Yeah, sure.
And then when you read it, it says, well, the trailer's coming on Christmas, but you got to get through.
Your click, didn't they?
They got my click. They got me through 31 ads before you finally got to the part where it says a trailer on Christmas. They did say February. One person said February 23rd or 22nd. So we'll see. Probably the end of February.
One of them said February 30th.
February
really
30th. Yeah. I was like, okay, cool. Even past leap year.
Yeah,
we got it.
That's that extra leap year.
Yeah. Life Day is coming up even sooner.
Okay.
November 17th, the day after my birthday.
All right.
Is Life Day, and you can now get Life Day merch at Black Spire's Outpost in Disney World and Disneyland.
Of course you can.
They got some neat stuff. There is a surprise. Check a Funko Life Day Chewbacca wearing the red robe, holding the little glass medal or the Life Day circle, whatever it is. I forget exactly what it is. But you can get a Funko of Life Day Chewbacca. And there's a lot of other neat stuff. There's one, it's a Life Day robe, a blanket. I guess they called it a blanket or a towel. They said towel, but it was like a blanket.
Very different things.
Yeah. It was like a robe, but it was made out of like a red terry cloth material with sleeves, kind of like
a snuggie.
Like a snuggie. And I was like, I can, and it was $49.99. I'm like, I can definitely find a red blanket somewhere and make my own. So you can, if you want a red snuggie, you can get one with Life Day embroidered on it for $50 at Black Spire's Outpost.
Interesting.
Yeah, I just found a couple of little things of news.
They do look like. They really do look like Snuggies. Like, even if you just go to Wikipedia and you type in Life Day robes, these are just straight up Wookiees wearing Snuggies.
Wearing Snuggies, exactly. Now, it was before Snuggies, but
I feel like George Lucas should sue Snuggie.
I think so. You know what's funny? When I did watch the movie that it was in, it was the Christmas special.
Yeah.
it did just look like they grabbed like choir
Oh yeah,
robes,
sure.
because I'm like, okay, now we have the Wookiee choir coming in now, and they're going to sing for us. So it did just look like regular, and that's what it sounded like too. It was fabulous. So that's going to close out the news for me, and we'll go to a commercial after this. And we're back.
We sure are.
And we're back.
And you've already purchased
said
whatever
item.
that was.
What was the last week was what's the AAA? A membership to AAA. Yes.
That's come in handy several times for me, I gotta
There
say.
you
Although
go.
I will tell you, you have to buy a separate motorcycle policy for AAA.
Do you really?
Stupid.
It is stupid because on this promo that was airing on our last week's show, you got 3 cars for the price of 1.
Wow.
So I don't know if a
motorcycle
would be considered as one of those 3 cars or not.
I guess not. We'll see. I'll have to see.
You have to see. Yeah.
But we are here because nobody's listening.
Nobody's listening. We can say whatever we want because nobody's listening.
That being said, also, we're here to review the new episode
of Nobody's Listening
of Andor called Nobody's Listening.
That's right. So we're going to review it. So if you didn't watch it yet, go watch it.
Spoilers.
And then come back. Spoilers.
Be warned.
It was exciting. I liked it.
Yeah. So I watched this week's episode on my way here on between on the bike listening and in my office getting some work done. I also watched episode 8 today.
Okay.
And 7 and 6 and 5.
You went through all of them.
So I think we reviewed 1, 2, 3, and 4 before the baby came.
Yes.
Yeah. So I didn't see any since then.
You haven't seen anything since then?
Not until today.
Okay.
So
now you're an overload on.
There's a lot of stuff we went through. I mean, before today, they were getting ready to do their big heist.
And
now all of a sudden the heist is done. He's in jail. Life is crazy. Oh my God. There's an old man. He had a stroke. Snoke is here for some reason. I don't know what's going on.
Back. Yes. Snoke is back.
What did he say in episode 9?
Or
I don't know how it happened.
Somehow
the movie. Snoke has returned. But yeah, that honestly, that threw me a little for a loop. Cause for whatever reason, I was just like, wait, that's the guy who plays, but it's all right, he's in CGI.
He was all CGI. Yeah. And a lot of people are trying to say that they're going to use his DNA to make Snoke. And Ryan Airy was like, no, that's not happening.
Really silly.
Yeah, because he doesn't have he's an actor. He doesn't have any force powers. No. They only used his voice last time. Yeah. And they must have liked working with him. So they said, look, we'll bring you back and we'll let you. He's great.
I always love seeing him in anything I've seen him in, and I think he's nailing
this
role.
He's doing great in this role.
And it's cool because I guess it was not this episode, but the last episode that he was introduced when he got to jail.
Yes.
And he was talking his first thing, he was all this badass dude. He's like, I only have 200 and something shifts left.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this dude is not going to make it.
Nope.
Through all those shifts.
Yeah.
Either he's not going to make it or something's going to, but that is your sign.
Well,
something's going to happen.
As we get to the end of this episode, I think he's going to be highly involved in the breakout.
Yeah, he wasn't going to be until all of a sudden now he realizes it was all for nothing.
It was all for nothing. He was all set up for nothing.
Yeah. And I don't know. It was a really interesting. I like him a lot. He's just really good in everything he does. But
so
Andy Serkis, right? That's his name.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. So let's break it down. I have notes on every single scene. While you were gone, I was taking very copious notes because the very first time I didn't, and I felt like I was letting Ryan and all our fans down by not being as prepared.
All our fan didn't like.
Yeah. So, but Chris didn't like our intro stuff that we're doing. So
Gosh,
that's Chris. So yeah. So scene 1, and this last week was even worse. When Ryan and I were doing it last week, there was 23 scenes last week because it was 10 seconds clip back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. We could basically talk about this in just 4 major chunks, but if I don't talk about it in scene by scene, I'm going to miss some important stuff that I know I want to talk about.
Hey, everybody, Doug is in the chat.
Doug's in the chat again. He was here last week.
Says Nick broke out, but Andor did not. Yeah, that's right, Doug.
That was our big bet last week. Was who's going to break out first? Are you going? Are you going to come back to the show, or is Andor going to get out of jail
Well,
first?
Andor's got at least another 5.5 years by my estimation, or at least 5, a long
Yeah.
time. So he's got to. I mean, if he doesn't break out, he's
Yeah.
going to be in there for a while. But yeah, I made it first, Doug. Somehow it happened.
Nick breaks out first. So scene 1, the torture scene with Deidre and Bix.
Yeah. Hey, here's a recording of weird children being.
Oh yeah. So
tortured. Is that what that was? Like.
That's yeah. That. So she comes in strong. Deidre's hardcore.
It's funny
evil.
Too,
like
this. It's so weird. This Deidre, is that her name? The Imperial officer that's like trying to prove herself.
Yeah.
She's not a good person.
No.
She's like evil and cruel, and for whatever reason, I'm like rooting for her.
Yeah,
I want her to you're like, yeah, she's right. Yeah, you guys are all this Imperial stupid stuff, like the red tape. Oh yeah, she proved you wrong, and I'm like, no, she's torturing people. I feel conflicted.
We wanted her to you okay?
Oh yeah, I'm just adjusting all my ropes here. Sorry.
Okay. We wanted her to actually become friends with Thrawn because she's like the humanoid, non-blue female version of Thrawn, I think. She's definitely outthinking all the rest of the boys, even though they're not giving her the respect that she deserves.
Sure. Although now she's got a fanboy of her own.
She does. He's a
little creepy little fanboy over there.
So in the first scene, she's first just talking to Bix and saying, "Tell me everything I want to know, or you're in trouble." And then she said that this is a great line. The very worst thing you can do right now is bore me.
Yep.
I was like, "Ooh, that's awesome." And then Bix she came back real strong. She goes, "You're not going to believe me anyway, are you?" And she was like, "Nope."
You're right.
And then boom, next scene, we're on to Andor pushing to win the competition. He's like, "Let's go, guys. We can put a whole bunch of these things together faster than the other tables, and we can actually get something that tastes like food again."
That's true. By the way, Doug is nitpicking. You're right, Doug. Thrawn is a humanoid.
True, he's a humanoid.
He's just not, I guess, what would you... human?
Yeah.
He's not human. He's just humanoid.
He's an alien. Yeah, he's an alien. He's Chiss.
But he's humanoid
in the fact that he has 2 arms and 2 feet. Yes.
And
he is
1 head and eye. Yeah.
Yes.
Certainly more humanoid than, like, let's say, Chewie.
Right. Yes, I agree. Sorry about that, Doug. Gosh. I have to be very careful with my wording. Andor's pushing to win the competition. He's like totally like he's figuring it all out. And every scene, so right before you left, we talked about how this was very THX 1184, whatever the show was. I have it written down further on. Because everything is white, the uniforms are white, everything is very just like THX is. But it's also very Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah.
Like he is the Andy character in Shawshank Redemption, where he's working the system, but he's working the system to figure out how to get out of the system at the same time. He knows that if they work harder, and they win, that he'll be able to figure out more things and ways to get out.
He's got a hidden spoon in his
I think he does,
and he's going to tunnel out.
Yeah. Well, we find out that he does have a hidden knife that he's trying to break the pipes. So we see a quick clip of that. Then we go back
Andy Bone. Andy has a broken bone is in the chat. Hi, Andy has a broken bone. Hope you're doing
Hi, Andy.
Andy Bone is a friend of mine from high school. His last name is Bone.
Oh, nice.
And my friend Johnny used to always say that his middle name was Has a Broken. Hi, Andy. Anyway, go on.
Anywho, so then we're back to scene 3. Bix is getting tortured again. They talk about the Dizon. Now, this is the thing that I really wanted to talk about a lot. Dizon Frey was the planet that they basically performed genocide on.
Right.
Because the people living there were very upset that the Imperials were coming in and trying to build a base on their planet.
Right.
And the doctor, good old Dr. Scratch and Sniff, Dr. Gorst, didn't see anything wrong with it. He has no problem with genocide, with destroying an entire planet, an entire species of people, of aliens, because they wouldn't do what the Empire wanted them to do. One of the darkest moments in Star Wars history was this scene where we find out how evil, that and blowing up an entire planet,
right?
Where we find out how evil the Empire is. And I feel like too many people are glazing over it because of the screams,
right?
But what brought the screams on is what's even worse than the actual screams themselves, in my opinion.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's so weird because it doesn't feel like as I was watching, I'm like, this doesn't feel like Star Wars, but it
Mm-mm.
is Star Wars, and it's so cool how they're doing it because it's
Yeah.
like there's no lightsabers, like
No.
it's just again, and I mentioned this before, but like you forget you're watching Star Wars until
Yeah.
all of a sudden there's a Star Wars. Oh right,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just interesting, good,
Yeah.
TV.
Good
So
TV. Yeah. 100%. And so I was really hoping that this Dizon Frey planet was going to have some kind of cool backstory. We're going to find it in like books or in
right,
comics or anything like that. It's brand new. And this is the first of like two things that I saw in this episode that were brand new to the series,
right,
which is cool. I'm happy that they're expanding it, but there is so much stuff out there that's non-canon
that they can draw
that they
from.
can draw
Right.
from. Why not like make, you know how happy people are when you bring canon, when non-canon things into the realm?
We're never gonna see Nar Shaddaa.
We're never going to see Nar Shaddaa. You
Never.
want Nar Shaddaa. So, and I
Yeah.
want it now for you.
Yeah, right. Like now everyone's rooting for. Yeah, no.
Yeah, no, we're never going to see Nar Shaddaa. I want to see it so bad. Even if it's just on a map in the
Right? Like,
background.
oh look, there it is. You can tell.
You can
And
tell.
I don't even care if they write it in freaking Arabic.
Yeah.
Right. And someone has to
Translate it. It says
fine.
Nar Shaddaa.
That'll
Perfect.
be all I need.
Yes, that's all you need. But yeah, so brand new planet. And I did notice, I did like the headsets that they put on her.
Yeah.
Reminded me of Lobo, or Lobot. I'm sorry,
Right.
Lobot, who was the guy who had like those
Yeah.
those headsets built into
Which,
his
by the way, I
body.
think it was not this episode, the previous episode, but I wasn't here to talk about it. The shoes that these freaking guards wear.
The
so that
Reebok pumps.
Yeah, exactly. It's like all I think is they're just gonna.
Uh-huh.
It's ridiculous. As they're walking out, I'm like, why are they focusing
Yeah.
on these ridiculous sneakers?
Uh-huh.
I'm like, oh, I see.
Yeah. So I'm sure very soon you'll be able to buy from Beats the headset that they put on.
Yep.
And Reebok is coming out with the Reebok
right.
pump.
Non-electrocute.
Yeah, exactly. So funny. And the neat thing with this scene, when they ended the torture scene, it was scene by scene, cut by cut, the same thing as when Darth Vader was torturing Princess Leia in A New Hope.
Yeah.
From her screams, the door closing, the footsteps of the soldier walking out of the room was all exactly the same as that they did in New Hope. So it was pretty cool. Headset kind of like Lobo. I just said that. Somebody wants to ship. This is just a side note. Deidre and Cyril. They're trying to ship them. Yeah. So I wrote down it would be Dedrill. Because if you take the first three DED,
you're Brangelina-ing them.
I'm Brangelina-ing them. Yeah, so it'll be Dedrill.
All right.
So then we're back in prison. Now, there's a lot of discussion as to what they're making, and maybe Doug knows. Some people were saying the droids, the probe droids that were going around when they go onto the planets and they're going looking like scanning droids.
Right.
Other people are saying they were parts for AT-ATs or ATSTs. Other people are saying that they're parts for the Death Star, because this is around the time that the Death Star is being made. So I made a mistake with the numbers, because when at one point they talked about 41, I thought they were saying they were made 41 pieces in the day, but they were telling Olaf that he had 41 days left of working there. But I did my research on 41 pieces in one day, which they're working a 12-hour shift. They're probably going to do closer to 60 or 70 pieces a day. If it takes them 10 minutes to put one of these together at a time, they can do 6 an hour times 12, whatever.
Doug doesn't know what they're making. So I'm going to go ahead and make an executive decision and say that they are making space backhoes.
Space backhoes.
Yeah, they got a farm in space, and they're making space. It's a John Deere factory.
Okay.
They're making space backhoes.
They need a lot of them.
Yeah.
All right. So what I'm going to counteract that.
Okay, go
on. If I did some math here, 41 pieces at a table, there's 7 tables on the floor. That means on that one floor, they do 287 pieces a day on that floor. There are 7 floors, which means they're building 2,009 of these pieces a day. Some of these people have been there for a long time. In 1 year, they would be building 733,285 of those pieces, whatever they are.
They did the math.
I think, have you ever seen a geodesic dome?
Sure.
They're like the domes with all the triangles and stuff put together. It looks to me like they're the points that the different pieces of the geodesic dome would connect to.
Okay.
So what would need a whole lot of those connection points
An enormous kyber
would
crystal
be
or
an
something.
enormous Death Star.
Sure.
So the
Oh,
only thing
okay.
I'm thinking is they're
The
building
frame or
the
something.
frame, the outer shell frame
Interesting.
joints that they're then going to connect with metal poles to all those
And
joints.
Doug brings up a good point. It's highly secretive, and they're killing everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Right? No one's finishing their sentence, and they're saying
No.
that. So, like, you think about, you're talking about Game of Thrones a lot, right?
Yeah.
Maegor the Cruel made the Red Keep, or he
Yeah.
had people make the Red Keep, and then when they were done, he killed them all,
He killed them, so they
so that
wouldn't
no
know.
one
They
would
wouldn't be
know
able to
about all
know.
the secrets and
Right.
stuff, right? So
Yeah.
that's not a bad thought.
So that's my guess, is that they're building some sort of outer skin for that. That's
And we see like a frame floating in space at the end of episode 3, but it's incomplete.
right.
So yeah, it's possible.
Yeah. So
That's
there we
possible.
go. So that's my guess. All right. So the prison, the Reebok pumps. Oh, Kino, the guy who is Snoke.
Sure.
A new person comes on the floor, and he says once again, this is
He goes
floor
through his
5.
spiel.
Yeah,
He clearly
room
does it a
2,
lot.
D
Yeah.
for daytime. I was like, do you think he likes saying that?
Yeah,
Because he
right.
says it a lot. But yeah, so and then we're back to the torture. This is where we see, after the screams, Deidre is asking Bix all the questions now, because she is completely, her brain is
She's all
completely
garbled.
fried
Yep.
and jello at this point. So I don't know if we're gonna see much of Bix anymore. Now, we did see her at the end. She did say keep her alive because we need her as a witness.
Right.
But her friend Pax, we're not going to see him because the guy said, "Can we hang him?" And she said, "I don't care what you do with him."
Right.
But is she going to be a shell of who she was, or is she going to be able to regain herself and go back and keep fighting the Empire?
I feel like they would have killed her off if that was the case. If she
Okay.
wasn't going to be like
Useful
the same.
again.
So I feel like, I don't know, there might be some rebuilding. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll see more of her rather than just sitting in a bed staring at a wall. Okay, so then we go back to the prison. Torture with the fact that Olaf is losing it. Every single time we go back, you keep seeing Olaf
Getting worse
forgetting
and
things,
worse.
getting worse
Yeah,
and worse.
he's
This
another
whole
one who,
episode.
as soon as they introduced him, I'm like, that dude's not making it through this. He's at some point gonna be a detriment to this team.
Yeah, when you have the old guy in a prison that nobody's allowed to escape from, or nobody actually gets out of, you know the old guy's gonna die. It's a shame.
Especially when it's all about productivity. I'm like, that dude's gonna slow them down, and there's gonna be a problem.
Yeah, exactly. Then we're back to the torture scene. They say keep her alive. They talk about hanging her friend to show them who's in charge. Then new scene, Mon Mothma. We're at her house.
We find out
Or
she
it's
has a
not at
cousin.
her house. I'm sorry, we're not at her house. We're at the
No.
senator's
Oh, we're in the Senate chamber.
Senate chamber.
Where maybe 5 or 6 years ago, Palpatine and Yoda were just having a game of freaking dodgeball with all the freaking pods.
Yes. Oh,
And
banging into each other and talking.
She's giving a speech, and everyone's like, whatever.
Yeah, they were heckling her.
Yeah.
They were turning the lights off. They were leaving.
Glory to the Empire.
Yeah, they were like, look, the Empire is awesome. We're gonna follow them to the end. So it's a shame. It's very Nazi-ish.
Yes.
And even like the prison scenes where Olaf is just being worn to death is very Nazi, very Auschwitz. Like, we're just going to torture these people until they can't handle it anymore, kill them, and then just move on and just forget about it. So they do go back to a lot of that. So it is sad. And then this is almost like the scene when in the prequels, she says, this is how democracy dies.
Right. With thunderous applause.
With thunderous applause. This is like the true death of democracy now. Apathy.
Yeah. Complete and utter apathy.
Yeah, like the senators are like,
not having apathy would mean that people are looking at you, right?
Yeah.
And you're causing trouble. Right? Not caring is like, all right, no, just keep doing my thing. And that's what Mon Mothma's husband's kind of like, right?
Yeah, very.
He's just like, let's just listen, man. This is the way it is.
Yeah, he's like, look, we're all the way up here.
Yeah,
this is
we
cool.
got it good. Let's just ride it out.
We don't need to worry about it. We're okay.
Man, that family's got some issues.
They do.
They are a dysfunctional freaking
They
family.
are very dysfunctional.
And then Mon Mothma, apparently we find out that like Mon Mothma for years has been like, oh, she's the spearhead of the rebellion.
Yeah.
But it turns out her cousin was way more into it than she was at first.
Yeah.
We're seeing her cousins, and I'm looking down the road. She's going to die. Cousin's gonna die.
Right.
It's gonna galvanize Mon Mothma.
Because we
to
don't
get
see
more
the
involved
cousin. We don't see the cousin in
in
Rogue
anything else.
Squadron or anything else. We don't see her in anything
She's
else.
done. She's done.
So she'll
And-
might make it to the end of the series to episode 24, and then
yeah.
she'll
But
go
something's
then.
gonna happen with her that like Mon Mothma is gonna be like, I will carry on,
Yeah.
and we will make this happen, and then she's gonna die. And
Right. And
that's my personal thoughts.
I like it. I can see it happening. This since it's like a war show, there is a lot of people who are dying, and you are predicting it all. So we'll see what happens.
And that that's that part of the problem with this show is like a lot of these prequel shows, like, oh, I hope Cashin doesn't die.
I hope.
Sure would be a problem if Cashin died.
How about in Solo? It's like, oh, I want Solo, and I don't remember what her name was, but the girl, like the one who turned out to.
Oh, Daenerys.
Yeah, I would love to see
Kira.
Yeah, Kira, Han and Kira, they should totally get together.
Yeah, that'd be great.
That would be
perfect for each other.
And I'm like, oh wait, no, that can't happen.
And it won't.
It won't happen.
Again, we need a Star Wars what if.
Yes.
Still think.
Yeah, where things can be completely twisted and whatever.
Love it.
Kira and Han can actually get together. Mon
Yeah.
Mothma's cousin doesn't die.
Yeah, Plagueis and Palpatine are secretly a gay couple, and they are able to come out publicly because
yes.
the galaxy
And
is
they
now a more progressive.
They can hold hands together, and nobody says anything.
And now they won't turn to the dark side.
Exactly.
Boom.
It'll be a rainbow side instead of a dark side. It'll be very happy for everybody.
Yeah.
So after Democracy dies, Mon's in her car, and she's very angry and sad that she gave this great speech that nobody cared about, and the driver says your cousin's home. And I really like this car. It reminds me of like an old, like 1970s Lincoln.
Yeah, like something where like the front seat has like a third seat in the middle, like a bench seating, and
there's
like
a giant bench seat. You can stick your whole family in the front seat.
0 to 60 in 20 minutes.
Yeah, and it goes through 10 gallons of gas to get in those 20 minutes.
Smell those cars.
They
smelled like your grandparents.
Yes. Well, also your grandparents probably smoked, so that's that cigarette smell.
They all had in the side. They had the ashtrays.
The ashtray in the door, the ashtray in the middle. Yeah, my mom was a huge smoker, and I remember she would crack the window a quarter of an inch and then just smoke away. And we're in the back seat going,
the 70s when no one knew the dangers of secondhand smoke.
And my mom was just like, stop complaining. And I'm like, I can't breathe. Yes, you can. Shut up. I'm like, so yeah, good times.
Well,
love
you're
the
still
70s.
here and you're breathing, so life is good. Rob's like, yes,
I have the lungs of a 90-year-old. So yeah, so I want that car. Even if it had wheels and didn't fly, I still want that car. Then we're back in jail. Something's holding
Johnny
them up.
Jalopy should draw that car.
He would. That would be a really cool car to, for Life Day. Maybe for Life Day he'll
Speaking of Johnny Jalopy, if you're watching us on YouTube, you can check out right over here to see his excellent portrait of us.
Yes.
Right
above. Oh, you're up. I'm on this side of you.
Oh,
this side?
That's the one.
We're right there. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. So thank you, Johnny Jalopy. So something's holding. Oh, they're in jail. They're in the hallway, but they're frozen. They're not allowed to move anywhere. They're on program. Get on program. And somebody pointed out that Andor refuses to like link his hands.
Interesting.
The one person said he never puts his hands on his head, but he does it a little bit. But he does more of just like fingertips on his head, not like all the way back. And then the power fluctuates. They have a power surge. And the surge was burning down the entire second floor.
It reminded me of my cousin Vinny when they're in jail and like the power flickers, and it's because they're electrocuting the other dude. But yeah.
Like you blend.
Yeah, you blend. So yeah, they killed like 200 people.
Yep, the whole floor too, because they screwed up.
Signing to each other across.
Yeah, they're doing sign language. They're doing prison sign language back and forth to each other.
Snoke is like, no, that did not happen.
No,
I refuse to believe it.
There's no way. We're getting out of here. I only have 2. Yeah,
Jerry from freaking Parks and Rec. I'm only 1 year from my retirement.
4 seasons later.
That's it.
Then we're back to Mon Mothma, and Mon Mothma's cousin is Vale, which we just talked about. So this is when we see her. And Vale tells Mon Mothma that she pities her because she's stuck in this box, which is pretty funny because it is a very nice box that she's stuck in. Yep. And she said, there is no other way. I so wanted her to say, this is the way. If she would have said it, I would have
Yeah,
been
I've been
like,
waiting for some Mandalorian action, honestly. Like
yeah.
I've been thinking they might bring some Mandalorian stuff in, but I guess not.
No, because it's very
Yeah,
non-Star Wars.
they're really not. And again, I'm not mad about it, but they're
No,
not linking it like
no.
in those eye winky sort of like, hey, this connects to this. Isn't that
Yeah.
amazing? They're
Oh,
not doing
look,
that. I kind of
there's
like
a
that.
picture of Luke Skywalker in the
Yeah.
background. They're not even doing that. Yeah. The daughter, spoiled rich brat. She's very
Yeah,
happy
jerk.
with shiny things. She's like, "Daddy will let me do whatever I want to do." That's what that's what your daughter's going to say.
I'm sure
She
no,
will.
no, she will not.
She'll be like,
It'll be the other one.
"Oh, okay."
Oh yeah.
Mommy
I'm the
lets me
heavy.
do whatever
I'm
I
the
want.
heavy for sure.
All right. So yeah, so she was a spoiled brat. Then we go back to Andor asking Kino Loey how many guards are on the floor.
12.
In this scene, he won't say.
He won't.
He's like, stop talking.
He sure
They're
will
listening.
later, though.
And this is when Andor shouts out what we've been talking about for 2 years now, that nobody's listening.
That's right.
Nobody's listening. He shouts it, and he's like, "Stop talking! You're gonna get yourself left. Nobody's listening." And that was a cool thing because he's like trying to prove to him that what he believes in and what he's been programmed to understand is not going to happen.
Right.
And he's still on board. Kino's still on board. He's like, "This is happening." Then they are questioning. We go back to the ISB headquarters. And Deidre's talking about everything that she got out of Bix.
Right.
And I found it very amusing. It was very subtle, but as she's saying it, the major's like, "Okay, thanks." But he wasn't like, "Yes, like thank you so
Right.
much," until her little assistant guy who has his giant iPad in his hand.
Right.
Which I want someone to have an iPad case that looks
That
like
just
their
looks-
data pads. Yeah,
Yep.
this giant bulky box around your iPads. And he's like, "Oh, they figured it out. Andor shaved." That was
That's
the
it.
big. The
That's
guy
it.
says Andor shaved.
Oh,
And
that's that. You're
that's
right.
it.
I didn't even think about that. He shaved.
He shaved. Oh, he completely looks different. He shaved.
Give this man a raise.
Yeah. Deidre, on the other hand, is like, she gets everything. She's torturing people left and right. She's getting it all. Okay. Do you have anything else? Oh, he shaved. Perfect. Nailed it. And then it was the end of this scene was really funny because then they talk about oh no, that was a different scene. Then they go back to the prison. Shift change, and they're now finding out what the surge was. The whole second floor was killed. The voice of God in this scene says, "Make sure both feet are on the floor."
That's true. So you think you have to create a
That's what
circuit?
I said last week to Ryan. I think you have to do a complete, and he said, even if you have 1 foot, you could still get electrocuted with 1 foot. But
yeah, I guess probably it would arc.
It's going to arc between your toes or whatever. So, but yeah. And then I also noticed in this pathway they have the metal in the middle separating the people.
Right.
So I'm wondering when they do the big escape and they're running through here, if they can run on that little, like whenever people try to like slide down the escalator.
Right.
Which in real escalators, they have those buttons on there to prevent people from sliding down that metal thing. But in movies, those buttons are always gone, so people can slide down them. So I wonder if they're going to try and run across those the way you would an escalator. The whole time I'm watching this, I'm trying to figure out how they're going to break out because they're definitely planning it, and they've talked about a couple things already at the end of this episode.
I wonder if it'll work. I wonder if Andor will get out.
I don't think so. I think he's going to die.
It might be the case.
Yeah, everybody else will get out, but not Andor.
That's it.
Yeah, but the good news is they have Snoke's DNA, so they'll just make another one. Yeah, they'll just clone him. Yeah,
love it.
So there we go. And then the best scene of the episode: Cyril's mom's house.
That woman is awful.
She is awful.
She is like, whenever I'm in one of those scenes, I feel like it's like, the entire episode, I feel like, wow, this is really not like Star Wars. But when I'm watching this scene, I'm like, this is like I don't know. What's the movie with Kathy Bates? Misery.
Misery.
It reminds me of Misery.
Oh my God, yes.
Like that one. And that woman is the same woman who plays Arabella Figg in the Harry Potter movies.
Yes.
Mrs. Figg.
Yes.
And she's perfect.
Perfect.
And I hate her.
And she's short and she's just full on evil.
Yeah.
Just
Worst Mom of the Year award.
Everything, nothing. What did she say? Did I other than, I said other than being 4 feet tall, she reminds me of my mom. She talks about her return on her investment. What is my return on my
Right.
investment?
And then all she does is complain until he says he got a promotion. She's like,
right.
look what I did for you.
But then this is my favorite part. As she's complaining,
Yep. Yep.
like I hate eating noise.
Yeah.
When other people make noise when they eat. Yeah. Oh God. ASMR is not my
Not
thing at
your
all.
thing.
I'm the exact opposite of that. Chewing gum, eating chips, slurping. I'm like, stop it when you're slurping your soup. Knock it off. This scene made me laugh so much because he was like, I have to drown you out somehow. I'm going to drown you out by slurping as loud as I can. For those 5 seconds, I don't have to listen to you berating me. And then he goes, I got a promotion. Suddenly she's like, you're the greatest. And she gives him some more cereal. She's like, I'm so proud of you.
Like, what a ridiculously non-Star Wars thing. But of course it would happen. Narcissistic family members, like, why would that not be a thing that occurs in a galaxy far, far away?
Right.
You know, like,
yeah.
It's just like, again, the most human interest. Like, they never explore this side of characters in any other show.
No, which was awesome that they did this. It's so funny. I was like, oh my God. Like, I want to see, it's like The Odd Couple. I just want to see a whole sitcom of them.
Oh my God.
Well, Cyril, today, how many numbers did you push around today?
As he sits there eating his cereal.
He's eating his cereal. It would just be every scene would just be in that kitchen scene and just him eating cereal the whole time. A couple weeks ago on StarWars.com, they had a couple of recipes, and one was to make Cyril's blue cereal. And it said, get blue Rice Krispies. I'm like,
where do they make blue Rice Krispies?
They make blue Rice Krispies. I was like, did I miss something where they said how to like turn your Rice Krispies blue? But the first thing I read was get blue Rice Krispies. I was like, okay, moving on. So then we're leaving there, back to the prison real fast because we see Olaf falling behind again, and he's really struggling. And you're like, oh, this poor guy, he's going to hold him down. Then we click back right away to Mon Mothma's house. The husband's asking the cousin, Vale, if she found a husband yet, which is really funny because if you remember from a couple episodes ago, he and Mon Mothma got married at 15, which is what they do in Coruscant. It's their thing.
Tradition of
or not Coruscant, whatever planet they're from.
Right. Which I don't remember.
Yeah, I thought it started with a C. Where's Doug? Doug will tell us.
Doug, what planet is Mon Mothma from? Anyway, go on.
Anyway, so so he was like, oh, and he's talking about how, she's gonna be so old and nobody's gonna want her. And then they talk about how there's some new people coming from their planet, and Tay Cloman is back, and then the daughter goes, yeah, mom's old boyfriend. And then she goes, he was a friend from grade school, which made me laugh because he had to be, if he was an old boyfriend, since they got married at 15.
Yeah.
He would have to be like her 13. When she was 13, she had a boyfriend. So, and then Mon begs her to just be a spoiled rich girl for a little while instead of trying to save the galaxy. And then as she's leaving, they pick up the luggage, and the one luggage is basically just an ice cooler.
Yes.
Which was pretty funny. So also now available at shopdisney.com is the
Chandrila.
Chandrila.
Yes. Thank you, Doug.
Thank you. Is the luggage cooler you can get the headphones and what was the other one? The robes. What else was early on?
Ice cream maker.
The ice cream maker. Yeah. So the Reebok pumps.
Reebok pumps.
You get the sneakers. Right. Yeah.
All right.
Then we.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Is he saying funny things?
No. I was moving us on. My wife is going to be angry at me.
Okay.
Sorry.
So then we're almost done. The torture scene, Bix is completely fried. Those baby screams are no good. Cyril stops Deidre on the way into the ISB. And
that was just a weird, freaking creepy
such
scene.
a weird stalker, creepy type thing.
She helped you out, bro, and now you're just gonna
Yeah, he's like, thank you. She's like, I got nothing to do with it.
You're welcome.
He's like, yes, you did.
No, but really, thank you.
And he says, that conversation we had last week, that wasn't a conversation. We interrogated you. And then he says,
I feel like it brought us closer together.
I want what you want. She's like, yeah, no, I don't think so. I don't think we want
the same thing.
I don't think they want the same thing even a little bit. So then inside, her assistant tells her about a rebel pilot they found. We don't know who this rebel pilot is. They didn't name him. I was thinking he was going to be somebody cool, but I don't think so anymore. And then we go to Tay and Mon. They're talking all over money. And he's saying, yeah, suddenly $400,000 appeared. We need to figure out how to get it in and get it out and blah, blah, blah. And then he suggests a new banking associate. Of course, it changed its name to Dave. It's not Dave. It was Davil or something like that. Oh, wait. Davo, D-A-V-O. Davo Scound almost sounds like scoundrel. Davo Sculdun, S-C-U-L-D-U-N. Davo Sculdun is who he says we need to talk to this guy.
She wasn't happy.
She wasn't happy.
He's a thug.
He's a thug. And it's another new name. I was hoping for more backstory, but Wikipedia basically just quotes this conversation, and that's the only reference
Someone
that we
watched
have of him.
this. Someone went to Wikipedia, created the article.
Yes.
Based off of exactly what was said, and that's all we have.
And that's all we have. Yep. So he's another new person. I was a little I really wanted all of these people. I wanted to have good Easter eggs, but instead it's just all new people, which is cool because we don't have to rely on old people. Deidre's in the ISB headquarters. We're coming to the very end here, talking about what they can do to the rebel pilot. So she has this whole master plan, and it's like, we'll do this, we'll do this, we'll sabotage the ship to make it look like it got broken, we'll kill him inside, we'll let it float around, somebody else will discover it, they'll send it back to Kyrgyn, K-R-E-E-G-Y-N, Kyrgyn, who we learned about last week when we were talking to, what's his name? Saw, yeah, which was awesome. A great scene.
Yes, excellent.
Where he basically broke down all of the different cells of rebellion and said they're this, they're this, or this. This guy's part of the one, Kyrgyn, one of the separatists that he was trying to get Saul to help out with the power station on Spellhouse. So now the Imperials know about it. Will the rebels find out quick enough, or will they wind up getting trapped in whatever there? And then this is the scene where Deidre, the major says, all right, let's get on it. Deidre runs out of the room to put things in action. There's two other guys that are just sitting there. And then the major says, all right, let's go.
Yep.
And then those two guys, oh, you mean now?
Right.
Now we're done? Okay, now we'll go. And then we go to prison, back to prison. Olaf is getting worse. And I was thinking, all they do all day is torque down these bolts.
Mm-hmm.
Their right arm should be huge.
Jacked.
Should be
it's
jacked.
Like, have you ever seen The Lady in the Water?
Yeah.
With the one dude whose right arm only works out his right arm.
Or even Family Guy. There was an episode of Family Guy.
Yes.
When, what's the crazy neighbor's name? Giggity. Yeah, Quagmire finds out about internet porn.
Yes. And his one arm
is jacked.
Oh, yeah.
What do you mean? There's stuff on the internet? What? So anyway, then that's the end of the day. We find out that table one is the lowest one for the day. They get sent to the box. As they're getting electrocuted, Olaf collapses. The rest of the people at the table hold him up so that he doesn't show any weakness. And then the poor guy's having a stroke.
Right.
And everybody around him is just like, stand up, stand up. Horrible. And then the next scene, the last scene, they're in the prison hallway. Olaf collapses again. They bring in the prison doctor, who also doesn't have any shoes on. He's very standoffish. He doesn't want to know what the people's names are. He doesn't want to give anything away. But then he slowly gives away a little bit of stuff. And people were saying he was very rude and all this stuff. But I felt he was putting up a good front because that security guard was standing there. Once he said, I need a bag, and the guy said it's on its way, people were confused about that because he asked for a bag once.
Yeah.
And he probably radioed in, and then he said, I need that bag. And he said, that's when he said it's on its way after he asked for it the second time. But then as soon as he walked out the door, that's when the doctor turned to him and said, look, they killed everybody. This is the whole deal. Everybody's going to die here.
Right.
You know, there's nothing I can do for anybody.
Mm-hmm. And that he's the lucky one.
And he's the lucky one. Yeah, he's lucky that he died peacefully instead of being electrocuted and tortured and all that stuff. And that's when Kino has his turning point, and he's like,
how many security guards?
12. Yeah. That's how they ended. It was awesome.
It was a great way to, like, and when it ended, I was like, wait, that was it? And then I thought about it, I was like,
that was it. Yeah. So
yeah, man. Yeah. And that's episode 9.
That was episode 9.
We're 3/4 of the way through the season.
Yeah. Crazy. And it's been a long, great season because, as I was saying with Ryan, as I was saying with you, it's not Star Wars. There's no Luke Skywalker. There's no Obi-Wan, but it's a great story. And it's a shame people who aren't or who are mild Star Wars fans aren't watching it
Right.
because it's a great story that you really should watch. Especially if you're not a Star Wars fan, definitely watch it because it's so not Star Wars.
Right.
So yeah, I don't know. I liked it. You
Yeah.
liked it
Yeah, I've been enjoying every episode. Again, I'm glad.
as you're watching it on your bike.
Yeah, well, I was listening. That was just this one. But yeah, I think I'm gonna definitely find some time over this week to go back and rewatch every episode more clearly. But
Yeah.
it's just like the writing is just so clever. It's just so different. Period where people we know are around.
Right.
I'm expecting hopefully to hear about. They talked about Axis is his name, right?
Yeah.
Maybe we'll hear about Fulcrum.
Right.
Right. We've talked about that a couple
Yeah.
of episodes ago. I think that would be a way that would make a lot of sense to bring something in.
And even Rebels, because it's the same time as Rebels. So even if they brought in those
Any of them.
Yeah.
Even
now,
just like a shot of Hera or something,
Yeah.
like
did you see the Jedi Tales?
I have not watched it yet.
Okay. Because there's
a lot of
Kanan's in the background.
Is he?
of one
Okay,
of
because
them, yeah.
I know there's a lot of like some people like it, some people don't.
It was short. It wasn't what I was expecting. It was short. They were 6 episodes. They were all less than 15 minutes long each.
Oh, okay.
So it wasn't like you could sit while your baby girl is falling asleep in your arm.
Finish
You can
them
watch all of them. Yeah.
Maybe I'll do that tonight.
Yeah, because even at 15 minutes, there's opening credits and closing credits. It's like 10 minutes worth of actual stuff.
Doug is saying that my audio died and that you disappeared.
Oh, nice.